Good afternoon to all my subscribers and my viewers, any viewers that might be watching. This is Mr. Nick B, your host for Gmu Today, and of course, this is Gmu Today. Good afternoon, C. Beagle, D. Rob, Daniel Boone, Edward Black, Black Bullsheets, and all the rest of my subscribers, and anybody else viewing this video. Hope you're having a great day. Alright, my first article is actually from the Tea Party PAC. Bernie Sanders forced to admit what impeachment will do to his presidential campaign. Tea Party PAC. It's funny how the Democrats have unrolled their sham impeachment. It's clearly all been done for the sake of political expediency. But no. It's a political sham, and it's political suicide for anybody that's attempting it. It's clearly all been done for the sake of political expediency, but it doesn't seem like they planned it out very well. They announced their impeachment inquiry before Trump released a transcript of the phone call between himself and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, thus undercutting the Democrats' accusations before they even took root. They couldn't find a single witness who had any actual evidence that Trump committed any crimes or impeachable offenses. They planned their impeachment vote right before the winter holiday, clearly undermining their claim that it was such a severely dire need to impeach the president. Furthermore, Pelosi sat on the articles of impeachment for weeks beyond the vote, demanding that the Senate let her dictate the terms of the trial. No, Pelosi, no way. Then when she finally did sign the articles of impeachment, Trump had a fantastic historic week with a signed China trade deal and the USMCA, passing the Senate overwhelmingly. Oh, how about that? She also laughed and celebrated the whole way through the ceremonious signing of the articles, and the commemorative pens were probably a bad choice. Yes, they were. They're handing out pens? Who the hell does she think she is, president? Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, you are not president. Donald J. Trump is president. Period. And he will be for 8 more years. Okay. So anyway, so she wants to hand out her golden pens because she's got a ceremonious signing of articles of impeachment. Oh boy. Okay, so these articles of impeachment, they're celebration? Really? What person in their right mind would want to remove a president, would want to physically remove a duly elected president if they knew they didn't have to? This person is celebrating because she's got evil on her mind and in her heart. I believe so. I could be wrong, but there's a fat chance of that. And I know she's very corrupt. I know that much. Very corrupt. Nancy Pelosi is very corrupt. And to Google and YouTube and the rest of you guys, you know that's not mean. That's truth. Okay. So the whole thing is clearly designed, as many Democrat lawmakers have all but admitted, to try to prevent Trump from being reelected in 2020. So why did they start it during their party's primary election? They're now not only putting airtime away they're now not only pulling airtime away from Democrat debates with impeachment hysteria. Maybe so voters don't realize how dumb the candidates are. But it's grounding 2 of the top contenders for the presidency in Washington, D.C. from the trial. Some sort of twisted deep state ploy to give struggling Joe Biden a boost? OAN reports 2020 Democrat hopeful Bernie Sanders recently admitted the impeachment trial is going to negatively affect his presidential campaign. While talking to reporters in Washington on Thursday, the Vermont senator said the trial may take several weeks, which he would rather spend campaigning in Iowa and New Hampshire to win the Democrat Party nomination. Senator Sanders said he will have to do his job as U.S. Senator instead. Despite losing the valuable time, he suggested the Senate should call new impeachment witnesses to testify. Nope. Only Trump gets his witnesses. Democrats already have the witnesses they need. Move forward with it now. They made their case weak by not allowing our Republicans, the Republican minority, they made it very weak by not allowing the rest of the Republican minority to call their own witnesses. So I hope it falls flat. I hope they fall flat on their face with this impeachment. The Democrats might as well just call them criminals, because that's what they are. I would hope that Senator Mitch McConnell allows us to have a full and fair trial, he stated. When you have a trial, you hear from witnesses. That's what we do in the United States, and I hope McConnell will allow those willing witnesses to testify and give us their version of what happened. There is no such thing as a version. It's truth or lie, period. Truth or lie. No versions. There's truth or lie. Truth or lie. When you're calling somebody to a trial, it's either truth or lie. No in betweens. Alright. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little worked up over this stupid impeachment BS. But I should, and so should everybody else. But don't be stupid about it. Do something that will help Donald J. Trump, our duly elected president. Okay, so, yeah, Bernie Sanders, BS, wants to have a trial. You hear from witnesses that's what we do in the United States, and I hope McConnell will allow those witnesses to testify and give us their version of what happened. Doesn't that sound really stupid? There's no versions. Like I said, truth or lie. Political experts, as well as several lawmakers, have said the impeachment trial gives an unfair advantage to Democrat candidates who are not U.S. senators, such as Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg. Political experts, as well as several lawmakers, have said the impeachment trial gives an unfair advantage to Democrat candidates who are not U.S. senators, such as Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg. Kevin McCarthy, he tweets at GOP leader, he's at GOP leader. Okay, senators are required to be present for the duration of an impeachment trial. So by holding on to the impeachment articles for so long, let me turn this around. I hope you guys can see me okay. I'm out in the sun in Florida. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so, Kevin McCarthy at GOP leader. Senators are required to be present for the duration of an impeachment trial, so by holding on to the impeachment articles for so long, Speaker Pelosi is rigging the Iowa caucuses for Biden. Once again, the Democrat Party establishment is trying to sideline Bernie Sanders. You even called him out on Bernie Sanders. That's pretty funny. Anyways. Okay, so we get rid of that article. Alright, now, I'll have another one for you right here. Hold on. Let's see if I can bring it up. Maybe I will. Okay, well, this is a different kind of news story. A koala rescued from Australia. Bushfire dies after Samaritan gives him silent killer. That's too bad. Alright, so anyway, this koala rescued. This is from the Western Journal. Published January 13, 2020 at 1:11 p.m. by Kim Davis. Okay, so a wildlife rescue shelter in Australia is working to educate the public on an important way to help koala bears without accidentally causing them harm. Arnie the koala bear has become one of the many faces of wildlife that have been displaced, destroyed, or left in critical condition as the Australian bushfire continues to rage. Bushfires continue to rage. Arnie was rescued by a Good Samaritan from an area near Victoria's Last. Gippsland reported. Daily Mail Australia reported. Arnie's situation initially seemed optimistic as he suffered only minor burns in his hands and feet. But sadly, the koala bear died from a health complication that had nothing to do with the singed fur or burned feet. Arnie died from aspiration pneumonia, the result of seemingly kind deed at the hands of the person who rescued him. Australia Wildlife Shelter explained that a simple drink from a water bottle can be fatal to a koala bear, just as it was for Arnie. That's pretty sad. Anyway, so the shelter explained that it is not natural for koalas to drink much water at all, as they get the hydration they need from the plants they eat. If and when the koalas do drink, however, they lap it slowly with their tongues, head down as they drink. Therefore, water from a bottle can be a silent killer for the creatures. That's all I'm going to read to that one, guys. We're going to try to get back to some of the normal stuff we do on Gmu Today. How's that sound? Okay. Here's something real important, guys. So I'm going to ask you something here, and this is from the Tea Party PAC as well. Will the death of the Second Amendment happen in Virginia? Latest legal update. Tea Party PAC of Virginia Supreme Court is now being asked to address the glaring legal violations of the Second Amendment on the part of the Democrat-controlled state government. The fight is being brought on behalf of Gun Owners of America and the Virginia Citizens Defense League, as well as several individuals against Governor Ralph Northam. By the law and freedom firm of William J. Olson, PC, according to WND. By the way, WND, I believe, is a network that Gary Franchi, if you ever watched Next News Network, he used to be one of their news hosts, news guys, I believe. Now that's different from my new channel, which is MNB TV. So, since Democrats gained the majority in the state legislature, the party, this is in Virginia now, okay, the party which already had control of the governor's mansion as well, has made perfectly clear they plan to initiate a series of gun control measures that surely must have the first members of this SAC Semper Tyrannous state legislature rolling over in their graves. It certainly has those who still understand what the Constitution means up in arms, quite literally. Second Amendment supporting Virginians are not going to take this sitting down. Mass protests have been announced, including an event on Monday to which activists had planned to march on the Capitol bearing their weapons proudly and peacefully. This prompted Governor Ralph Blackface Northam to declare a state of emergency to ban guns from Capitol Square from Friday night until Tuesday. You've got to use tyranny to enforce tyranny, after all. Yeah. So I think they're absolutely right. Ralph Northam is just a tyrant and must be removed from the Virginia state government, along with all his other Democratic cohorts. And I think to attempt to take away our Second Amendment, I think that ought to be a high crime as well. And I think people ought to be held accountable for that in either prison, life in prison, or something else. We'll leave it at that for you guys to decide. Please be careful, because you know who's watching you, the YouTube police. So, yeah, you've got to use tyranny to enforce tyranny, after all. Northam claimed that there had been credible intelligence that militias and gun rights advocates were making threats and had plans to violently storm the Capitol, which remains highly suspicious. On Thursday, Richmond Chief Judge Joy Jider Taylor affirmed the ban, which Northam applauded. In a statement, he swore that These threats are real, as evidenced by reports of neo-Nazis arrested this morning after discussing plans to head to Richmond with firearms. Oh my gosh, oh, those poor people. After this, I'm going to show you something. 3 alleged members of a violent white supremacist group were arrested by the FBI on Thursday on gun charges. The agency claimed that they were worried about violence at the planned event in Richmond on Monday. Oh my God, oh my God. People with guns, oh my God. These are law-abiding citizens. I'm going to show you something that will expose this guy fast and furiously. Okay, so, alright, lawyers for the Second Amendment rights organization, however, explained that Northam's order was an unconstitutional restraint on rallygoers. Yes, it was. It absolutely was, positively, no doubt, and there's no argument on that. Judge Taylor refused to acknowledge the claiming there are limits on the Second Amendment. Nope. Judge Taylor refused to acknowledge this, claiming there are limits on the Second Amendment. Bullshit. Bullshit. Second Amendment is our Second Amendment. That's one of our rights, and it is one of our God-given rights. Okay, so here we go. Judge Taylor refused to acknowledge this, claiming there are limits on the Second Amendment. So what about the laws the Democrats are trying to pass? WND reports Democrats, a majority in both legislative houses as well as occupying the governor's office, have launched an aggressive attack on the Second Amendment, committing background checks on all sales limits, purchase, letting local governments impose bans, and more. The proposals have included a ban on assault weapons and a red flag plan to allow police to take guns if they think there's a threat. They added of Northam state of emergency. Brown had explained this organization didn't dispute the governor's decision to declare an emergency because of the expected size of the event. I'm going to switch spots. I'm going to go inside. And I will be right back, so we're going to keep the video up. Kind of want to show you folks. I want to show my friends everywhere. Look how beautiful that weather is out there. And look at that. We'll finish up that article, that news article again. Look at that, baby. I'm on the lanai of a family member somewhere in Florida. Hang on, guys. I'll be right with you, okay? Give me just a moment. Bear with me. I'll be right there, guys, okay? So anyway, my friends. Yeah, well, this looks a lot better. You guys can at least, there we go. Hey, how's it going? So this will be a little bit longer deal here. I just want to move from outside. It's getting a little, sun's getting a little bright out there. Man, am I gray. Must be all those silly Democrats. Okay, so anyways, other proposals have included a ban on assault weapons and a red flag plan to allow police to take guns if they think there's a threat. They add a Northam state of emergency. Brown had explained that his organization didn't dispute the governor's decision to declare an emergency because of the expected size of the event, but he noted the state's own lawmakers approved in 2012 a ban on using such a declaration to in any way limit or prohibit the rights of people to keep and bear arms. The judge's ruling said the Capitol Square in Richmond, Virginia contains office buildings for many state employees. These buildings are sensitive locations as they are sufficiently integrated with the Capitol. The plaintiffs in this case will not suffer an irreparable harm sufficient to justify the injunction sought. The judge denied the request for a temporary injunction against the ban. Well, it is time to remove that judge. So at any rate, let's see. Now I'm going to go to a video here. I want you to watch it carefully. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here's a really nice one for you. Tea Party, this is the Tea Party Daily. NYPD, New York Police Department, installs new cameras and liberals freak out. Liberals freak out? Yeah, okay. Freak out? What's the name of that song? Freak Out? Okay, so anyway, as a result of the string of violent anti-Semitic attacks throughout New York, the city is calling for quick and immediate change, and surprisingly, that call is being answered. Both Governor and Mayor Bill de Blasio have agreed to take action. Furthermore, that action could actually work and save an untold amount of tax dollars, unlike some of the city's most recent law changes. The plan is to install new security cameras in and around Brooklyn. Brooklyn is home to the city's most traditional Jewish neighborhoods and where most of the violent attacks have taken place, according to CBS News New York. The city is planning to add dozens of security cameras in Brooklyn in response to the recent anti-Semitic hate crimes. Mayor de Blasio says the NYPD will install 100 new cameras in Williamsburg, Crown Heights, and Borough Park. The first 30 cameras will be up and working by March. The use of security cameras is a proven method of identification and one that police departments around the world and the nation employ on an almost daily basis. In fact, last year, several anti-Semitic attacks in New York were captured on camera, and the footage became the primary reason that authorities were able to identify and apprehend those responsible for it. Now you might ask if there are already cameras set up at numerous shops, businesses, and residents in New York City. Why would the city spend money to put up more? One reason is that while there are few out there, few of them provide the coverage that police need or can use in their cases. Furthermore, you've heard that the saying, there's no such thing as too much of a good thing. Yeah, there is actually. More cameras mean more eyes and more opportunities. Some of that is so police can harass you. There's been problems, I'm sure, with that technology. It's just that some police officers get cocky and want to abuse their authority, misuse their authority as well. And that's not true of all cops. Just as a quick for instance here, I was at a local little diner, 50s diner, and I walked in for breakfast. Got my breakfast, ordered my breakfast, and well, there happened to be some county deputies and police officers sitting at a table next to me. When I walked in, I just said, "Hello guys, how you doing? Stay safe now." Something to that degree. And so I got done with my meal, my breakfast, and I said, "Ma'am," I was talking to my server. I said, "Ma'am, I'm ready for my bill now." She just looks at me and quietly leans over and says, "Well, sir, one of those officers over there paid your bill." So it was kind of cool. I mean, it was pretty thoughtful, whatever they did it for, if they felt bad for me, or if they just were trying to be kind to somebody around them, and it was quite a kindful gesture. All right, it was quite a kind gesture. Kindful, listen to me. Okay, so another point of note is that not every business or resident is all too keen on giving the police access to their camera footage for whatever reason, and when people with cameras are not willing to be all that cooperative, the department then has to spend precious time waiting on a warrant. By that time, the opportunity for an arrest may have already passed. With these new police-owned cameras, there will be no time wasted wondering, asking, or waiting for permission for access. Furthermore, the department then can move the cameras to more ideal locations or basically use them in the best possible way. Naturally, not everyone is thrilled about new cameras going up. Around the city. After all, this is New York, a city renowned for its hatred of police and where anti-police marches happen on a near weekly occasion, mostly in Brooklyn. Already, numerous people have protested the move, and called local radio and news outlets stating that the new cameras are an invasion of their privacy and a sign of a police state. For some, it ranks high, right up there with facial recognition software, which they say targets minorities. But what could honestly be so bad about the cops being made much more able to actually catch the bad guys? It would almost seem like the people of New York, or at least some people, don't want these attacks to be stopped. I would think that more cameras than ones being only used by the police department would give an added sense of security and trust. I think for the people who are now less likely to commit a crime, anti-Semitic or not, because they know they could be seen and caught, I'd certainly give me second thoughts. It would certainly give me second thoughts. Okay, but whoever wrote this should learn how to spell. But even if it didn't, this is a good answer for finding criminals and getting them off the streets, away from our homes, our communities, and far from babies. That alone should be considered worth it. Of course, I'm not most people, and who knows, with this new bail reform law in New York, the new cameras might not add up too much help in the long run. Those perpetrators just might be given free run of the streets and the ability to strike again, but we can hope not. Yeah. I do want to take you somewhere here, and I'm going to give you a Second Amendment look. How's that sound now? All right? So what we're going to do, we're going to go here to YouTube, and I'm going to look up Silver Uncut. There's a beautiful little home.
Go ahead on the screen.
Maybe a minute. Recording.
How long?
About 2 minutes. Okay, guys, let me give you this
I made
here.
3 simple changes to my diet that
I'm going to give you this here.
drastically reduced my arthritis
You don't
pain.
want that. You want this. There you go. Just going to click my logo to this. And then I'm going to click this and put it that way. Alright?
We will not comply! We will not comply!
Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report Uncut. We're coming to you from the Virginia Capitol. Now, it's really hard to put it into, even a video, exactly the energy that was here, but I tried to capture that. I'm sorry about the live stream going down, but that's all right. I think I caught some pretty good footage, so here's a look around what we saw in Virginia.
that's all I'm going to do here now. What you guys can do is go to Silver Uncut. Let's see, let me make sure I got it right here. Silver Report Uncut, and subscribe to that guy's channel. He's got a lot of interesting and informative articles. So bear with me, and I'll see you next time on Gmu Today. Have a great day. All God bless. Mr. McBee for Gmu Today.